me, I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
A ruckus indeed. Now, apparently, y'all are tired of my stories of working in radio overseas yet. Y'all asked for more. So, here you are. When I worked in Moscow, I had a theory. If the list of words that you can't say on air is written entirely in Russian, and you are an American who doesn't speak Russian, technically, none of those words are your words. Technically, you're operating in a completely separate linguistic universe. Technically, you're fine. I tested this theory from day one.
Now begins the age of Pete.
Pit stop with Pete and Kato.
Roskomnadzor, which is the Russian government agency that oversees all broadcast media, issues licenses, and generally decides who gets to stay on the air, did not immediately appreciate my theory. But they're a bureaucracy. They move slow. I had the most, let's say, colorful radio show in Moscow. I kept one step ahead. When they finally caught on to a word or a phrase, I'd switch to a different one. New slang. New euphemism. Back to square one, gentlemen. I've got a whole language over here, and you've only banned about 40 words of it.
Moscow FM 105.2. We speak English.
Now, this went on long enough that at some point, someone in the Russian government made a decision. They were done playing catch up with a radio DJ from the United States. So they wrote a new law, deliberately vague, broad enough that Roskomnadzor itself could decide what was offensive on a case-by-case basis and fine or jail the offending party accordingly. Now, the offending party in this scenario is, well, me. They also determined that what counted as obscene would be left to expert philologists, which is a sentence I never expected to utter in my life. So Moscow 24 television did a segment on the new law. They featured me by name on Russian television. I'd like to say I handled that with dignity. I did not. Y'all know that I am about as petty as it gets.
Прикусите язык. Госдума приняла в третьем чтении закон о штрафах за мат в газетах, на радио и телевидении.
Now, did I get fined frequently? Yes. Did I see the inside of a jail cell more than once? Also, yes. Now, at this point, you might be wondering how I kept my job, how I kept my freedom, how I kept my visa and work permit. My boss was a very influential Russian who had spent considerable time in the United States. And he loved radio. He was a big radio guy. He understood exactly what I was doing. And he thought it was hilarious. Every fine, paid. Every time they hauled me in, he came and got me. Never complained once. I'd like to think that most people go their entire careers without inspiring federal legislation. I did it in under a year. In a foreign country. In a language I didn't speak. And I had somebody else pick up the tab.